Here's something you should never forget. Never forget the time where Trump wanted to invite the Taliban to Camp David for a summit pre-9/11 weekend. Just take that in for a second. Invite the Taliban to Camp David days before the anniversary of 9/11. Never forget. Dyze in your house. Exclusively on East Coast Radio. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are that of my own and are not of my employer.
Nobody likes me. Nobody likes me, but that's okay, cause I don't like y'all anyway. And I don't like y'all anyway.
We have until November of 2020 to get our act together as a country, as a nation, to correct this injustice. And the biggest injustice in the world was allowing a foreign power to install a criminal into the White House and turn an administration into a fascist crime syndicate. That must be corrected. And we only have there's only one more election we have to correct it, or this whole thing is over.
If you don't know what Staten Island is, it's like New York's abortion that lived.
I never met any of the founding fathers, but I'm sure if they were listening to East Coast Radio right now and brand new episodes of Dyze in your house, they would agree with the sentiment. And you can follow us on Twitter at East Coast Radio. Get us on Patreon at East Coast Radio. Vote. Blue Wave 2020. Let's make it happen. East Coast Radio for the least heard voices. Every weekend. We here on East Coast Radio are trying to fight the rising tide of fascism.
The noun fascism is usually defined as a governmental system led by a dictator having complete power, forcibly suppressing opposition and criticism, regimenting all industry, commerce, etc., and emphasizing an aggressive nationalism and often racism.
Yeah, we don't want any of that in America. So we gotta stop it. We gotta put out the fire now.
Staten Island was no joke.
As liberals, not even as liberals, as Americans, as patriots, as people that like democracy. The only thing we can do right now to fix our country is use our weapons. And our weapons are our voices, our handmade signs, and social media. Get the message out there. Voting. Voting is key. Elections have consequences.
If you don't know what Staten Island is, it's like New York's abortion that lived.
Representing Staten Island. Staten Island was no joke.
Hey, yo. Who's in the house? Dyze in your house. What is the word, peeps? What goes on? It is the weekend. I am Jay Porks. We are back here on East Coast Radio with another action-packed edition of Dyze in your house. What is this? You might ask yourself. You might be wondering what you've stumbled upon. Well, you've stumbled upon somebody who wants to install in you the urgency you need to help drive you to go out and vote. November 3rd, 2020. We gotta vote. We're gonna vote Democrat. We have to save America. We need to get America back going in the direction that we needed to go. It wasn't perfect. It probably won't be perfect in our lifetimes, but we have to strive for big ideas, big dreams, and big goals. And we can't, as a nation, fall in to a fascist dictatorship like we're doing right now. And if you're wondering what the term fascism is, I'm going to ask the internet for a little bit of help. Hey Google, what is fascism?
According to Wikipedia, Fascism is a form of far-right-wing, authoritarian ultranationalism characterized by dictatorial power, forcible suppression of opposition, and strong regimentation of society and of the economy, which came to prominence in early 20th century Europe.
Yeah, so I did not ask the internet for a list of American values and they gave me that. I asked for fascism. That's what it is. Fascism. We have to call it like we see it. It's racism, it's white nationalism, and it's white supremacy. And that's what's going on. And they were installed into... This fascist crime syndicate was installed into 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue by a couple of bad actors. We got one, a hostile foreign power, the Kremlin, you know, Vladimir Putin and company. We also have a hacker's nest masquerading as a journalism source, and that would be WikiLeaks, and they disseminated stolen emails. And that helped turn the tide and help people, pushed people towards voting third party, a party that doesn't exist. You know, in our political system, we have two parties. That's how it works. And I'm not saying that that can't be changed, but you never change that after primary season. Now we're in primary season. We had 20 Democrats on stage the last couple of debates. This one we have, we actually didn't have 20 on stage, but we had a 2-night, 20 Democrat, you know, field. Now, a couple of nights ago, Thursday night, we had 10 Democrats. Now, here's what I can say about these 10 Democrats. While I might agree and disagree with some of their platforms, you have to understand this. Not one of those 10 Democrats would, and I promise you this, invite the Taliban to Camp David days before 9/11. They definitely wouldn't do that, because that's just crazy. That's just something that crazy people do. And that's not, you know, think about it this way. John Bolton got axed because he wasn't, like, crazy enough. Think about that. The mustachioed John Bolton, Yosemite Sam. He wasn't crazy enough, apparently. He said, you know what? Maybe we should... I mean, listen, and I don't know. I wasn't there. But after these Taliban talks broke down, I believe that was when he was removed from the position. So my thing is, if John Bolton was like, yo, this is a little crazy... I think it was a little crazy. I had an episode of Dyze in Your House, or it might have been the Jay Porks podcast. It was like, John Bolton is going to get us all killed, or is going to kill us all. That was the title. He's a war hawk. And he was ousted. And I'm not saying, oh man, another guardrail removed. No, John Bolton's a nutcase, and he should be as far away from the nuclear codes as possible. And that's a fact. But the Taliban, inviting the Taliban, the people that hit Osama bin Laden after 9/11, you want to invite them to American soil to have a powwow about, what is it, Afghanistan or Iraq, wherever Al-Qaeda is, whatever terrorists they made up this week. So none of those 10 Democrats on stage would even think that, hey, maybe we should invite the Taliban to America. They wouldn't think that. That would not be a thing at all. Just saying, you probably don't want these people to be flying. That's just I'm just saying. I'm just making an observation. But this guy's a Looney Tune, man. In all seriousness, I hate to keep going back to the point, but Jimmy Carter had to sell his peanut farm. And Joy Reid, hashtag #AMJoy, yo. Joy Reid this morning had a court TV reporter on. I know court TV was still a thing. It probably is if you download a free app or something. It's probably included with the Mike's On app. The Mike Francesa app. But anyway, and Jimmy Carter had to sell his peanut farm, right? So, Trump did not divest from his businesses. And it's not like that's not a big deal, because that is a big deal. Because you can't make money off the presidency. And then the court TV reporter says you can't prove that he was actually making money off the presidency. Well, yes you could, because all of his properties that were in the red before election are now not in the red because, like, for instance, when T-Mobile was fucking trying to fucking jack off the Justice Department to get the Sprint deal, the Sprint merger approved, all of T-Mobile employees were sent by T-Mobile's corporate. They sent them to Trump's hotel in DC and wearing all T-Mobile stuff to let them know that T-Mobile's in the house. You know what I'm saying? T-Mobile's here. We'll lend it support. Same thing with this Turnberry golf course where they fuel up. Now, Turnberry was going under. Turnberry, the airport. The airport that's 40 miles away from anywhere. From anywhere you need to be. The Air Force has been there over 40 or 50 times. Refueling and staying overnight in Turnberry. So the court TV reporter on this same episode of Joy Reid says, well, you know, it's only 140 a night. That's a pretty good rate for a resort. Are we saying that it's okay to break the law because we got a good deal out of the situation? What is life, if that's the question, if that's what we're saying? Well, they got a good deal. How'd they get a good deal? A cheeseburger at Turnberry is $26 fucking dollars, yo. No cap. That's not a lie. I did not make that up. So there's no way, and I'm not saying that America doesn't pay its servicemen and women good money, but there's no way that those people can afford $26 fucking cheeseburgers. And if you want to say, well, they got it for free. They got comped. Well, first of all, from the beginning, you could have made up some bullshit lie about how you were going to give every American service member, you know, Air Force, everybody, free stays at your hotel and free food and stuff. It's all on me. You know, you could have said that at the beginning. It would have been bullshit, and you would have been called a liar, and you still would have been violating the Emoluments Clause in the Constitution, but at the same time, at least it would have been some sort of fake fucking cop-out you could have did. But that's not what we're doing. We're doing the thing we always do. We're not admitting to it, then we're admitting to it a little bit, and then in a little while we're going to say, oh, it's a big deal. No big deal. It is a big deal. It's a big deal to make money off the presidency. Jimmy Carter had to sell his peanut farm. If Jimmy Carter was elected president and he said, listen, the Pentagon is only going to serve Jimmy Carter's peanuts from now on, and everybody in the armed services who wants peanuts is going to get Pentagon Jimmy Carter peanuts sent to them. Like, that would not be cool. That's what I'm saying. That's why Jimmy Carter had to sell his peanut farm. And that's why you have to divest from your businesses, put them in a blind trust. I'm not talking about have your kids have access to the accounts to your businesses and give you quarterly updates on how your businesses are doing, because your only business when you're in the presidency is supposed to be America. That's your business. Not your hotel, not your golf course, not anything else. Not a TV network you're launching after you lose. Not that. Not any of that. And that's what the Constitution is for. That's what the Emoluments Clause is for. And George Washington would fucking kick some fucking ass right now if he was here. He'd be like, yo, I didn't want to be king. That was the whole point of this. But I digress. And I watched the Dem debates. And you know what? Yeah. Joe Biden is old, man. And he makes mistakes when he's talking. But let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it real. Okay? This, like, Joe Biden isn't telling lies for purposes of hiding hatred or anything like that. He's just an old guy. And I need to vote for the person. I need us to nominate the person that is going to win. And I have some interesting Twitter replies. A couple of people replied to me on Twitter, and I'm gonna read them because, you know, when people interact with me, I want to do what I could to, you know, share that because I like it. And again, this is all I was watching Joy Reid, so that's what happened. I tweeted something and people replied, but Joe Biden does say the wrong shit from time to time. But, like, I just saw a poll that has him at 45%. Like, out of all the Democratic candidates, black voters, 45% are for Biden. The next person is, like, not even at 20%. You know what I mean? I believe not even at 20%. So, like, that's the electorate we need. You know, we can't just have, 32-year-old Jewish kids with man buns and podcasts to go out and vote. That's not how we're going to win. We need everybody. We need people to not get disinterested in an election. And if people of color, brown, black people like Joe Biden, and Joe Biden is the guy that gives us the best chance to win, Joe Biden is not going to destroy America if he's elected president. You know what I'm saying? But also, my favorite in the race is Elizabeth Warren. I like Warren. I like that she's got wacky ideas because the ideas aren't wacky when she breaks them down. She has a plan. She's got things that she has ways to make these things paid for. And if we're not going to dream big, then why dream at all? Bernie Sanders is, he had no voice the other night. And he's old he's old, but he's not like... Biden's old, and Bernie's old too. All these people are old, okay? But my thing is, besides like Pete Buttigieg, but Bernie Sanders is like, I'm sick of it already. You ever hear the same thing over and over and over again? Like when so many people tell you how good the Hangover movie is and you watch it and you're like, this movie sucks. Like, and Bernie Sanders on the ticket at the top will lose you 40 states in 2020. And you can take that to the bank, and that's what you can do. And that's a fact. I don't know how well that shit swings. But the point of the matter is this. If you're preferred... And listen, Pete Buttigieg had a lot of great answers. Beto O'Rourke had a lot of good answers. Amy Klobuchar was good. Listen, they're all good. Everybody on that stage on Thursday night is light years better for the country than where we are right now. Light years. And what you have to focus on is if your preferred candidate does not make it to the top of the ticket, you need to just chill and vote for the person at the top of the ticket. And vote Democrat down the line so we can make sure that this country is going in a direction that serves everybody's needs. Not just rich white people who, have held on to power for so long. Not just people that donate big money to big political campaigns. Not oligarchic type behavior. Not that. We need power to come back to the people. We need more money invested in public schools. We need health care. Health care needs to be straightened out. And there are debates on how to do that. But one party wants you to not have health care. One party wants to take it away from you. And another party wants to make sure that you have it. And they want to make sure that our country is on a path towards a universal system of health care. Where everyone from birth has health care and always has health care. They want to do that. Only one party wants to do that. The other party doesn't. So, it's not like an ideological choice here. It's just that if we all band together and vote blue, November 3rd, 2020, I could promise you that life is going to be a lot more fun, yo. Like, this podcast will go back to being fun. I'll tell jokes. I'll tell stories. I got stories. I have fun in my life. I really do. Well, I used to. Doesn't need to be like this. We don't need to spend 20 hours a day watching cable news. Speaking of watching cable news, I will get to the Twitter replies. So, the other night, as I open my coffee, this morning, I was active. I was tweeting during Joy Reid. So let's get to it. So I was like, I fell asleep. I'll admit I fell asleep before Biden started talking about record players and riding the Transcontinental Railroad and such. That said, we really need to have someone on top of the ticket who is going to win. I'm not saying that's Joe. I'm just saying. All those people on stage are better than what is current. That is a big fucking fact. So I'm not about disqualifying any of those top 10 in September 2019. Remember the last time when we got mad, where everyone was mad when we had a tiny primary? My dad asked me last night, so who's your pick right now? And it was tough to answer. I said I want the person that's going to win, plain and simple. None of these people, of the top 10, are evil and a harm to the nation. And again, the key point to look at is what we currently have. Pressed to make a choice, I told my dad I love Warren. I may hit a New York City event on Monday if my day off remains a day off. He says she's not likable. I disagree. He says Warren reminds people of Hillary. I disagree. But I watch 20 hours of cable news a day. Maybe that's my problem. Many voters don't watch endless hours of cable news. They hear sound bites. They take in the information they like, and they don't hear the rest. Stuff drives me nuts. And the at Lyntella, that's Lyntilla, on Twitter, she says, let's have Trump criminal activities hearing. She replied to my tweet, he or she, I don't know who, if it's a female or male, it doesn't matter, the emoji is a female emoji, the emoticon, whatever it says. It says, I agree with all you've said. The person that's going to win is the person we get out to support. If we all decide to vote blue no matter who, to get our friends registered and out to vote, any of them folks can win. The magic is in them, is not in them, it's in us. And that is 100% accurate. That is an accurate assessment of what's going on right now. And that's what my podcast is about. Is about that exact message. If we all get together and vote blue no matter who, we'll get it done. We'll be able to get our country, again, going back into a direction that is the right direction. Again, not going to be perfect. Most likely not in our lifetime is going to be a perfect system. Never will be. Probably not in our lifetime. We probably won't see that because that's the way the world works. You always strive for perfection. And there's always more to be done. There's always more places to go. There's always more things to explore. And you're never done learning. And you're never done making things better. So I had another tweet. And this is replying to the Warren reminds me of when my dad said Warren reminds me of Hillary. He says, this person, at Miss Morrissa, I'm sorry, MISSMORRISA. And it says, no woman will seem likable then. Just imagine Warren being compared to Hillary in the unlikable category. Warren is way more personable during this presidential run than Hillary ever was, and I love Hillary. Same, and agree. I can't disagree with any of that in the slightest. Elizabeth Warren is folksy. She seems real. She is not a career, Bernie Sanders rails against career politicians when he's a career politician. Whereas Elizabeth Warren was a special needs teacher. Before her career in politics, which started not long ago. So she's not actually swampy. So that's the thing. And that's the rub. And I believe she is likable. There was a time, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there was a time where Elizabeth Warren came off more not as folksy. But she seems to have, being in the Senate has humbled her. And she seems to have figured out a way to get her message out. She's real. She's not a phony. She was told by her mom that she had Native American descent. And that doesn't matter. She's likable. I think she's likable. And I'm trying to go to her event in Washington Square Park on Monday. I'm not sure if I'll be able to go because I'm off on Monday. So A, I might not be off on Monday by the time it's Monday. B, if my Tuesday work shift gets moved up to early in the morning, I might not be able to go to the event. But I am going to RSVP anyway. And I'm hoping to get to see Elizabeth Warren in Washington Square Park in Manhattan. And it's going to be fun. And if you're thinking about going, please, hit me up. Hit me up on Twitter at JPorks. Let me know because we'll meet up, we'll hang out, we'll have a powwow, we'll talk. So, in case you didn't know, nowadays, every Saturday you can get the podcast on patreon.com/jporks. The audio will be there. Every Sunday we go on YouTube, and that'll be the slideshow, and that goes to Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts being a little weird right now, so I'm trying to get it out to you in different ways. So patreon.com/jporks. Take a listen to every episode of Dyze in Your House every Saturday when it's there for free. Exclusively provided by East Coast Radio. And on November 3rd, 2020, we have to vote blue to save America. Hashtag vote blue no matter who. We're going to exhaust the vote and rock the vote. JPorks. Dyze in Your House. Exclusively on East Coast Radio.